December, People's Discount December. A range of unmatched benefits with People's credit cards from People's Bank. Discounts up to 60% and interest-free installment plans from selected merchants. Transfer the balance of another credit card to a People's credit card and pay it off through flexible monthly installments. Lowest interest of 12% on credit cards issued free against fixed deposits. For more details, call 1961.
In a few moments, the news.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's credit cards from People's Bank.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, assisted by Sanjay, and read by Geetanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The government says further 2,500 renovated roads will be vested with the public next month. The budget proposals designed based on the Vistas of Prosperity policy manifesto. Sluice gates of 13 reservoirs have been opened due to the inclement weather condition. Disaster Management Centre says Attanagalu Oya, Maha Oya and Kudaganga alerted with minor floods. Daily count of coronavirus cases climbs to 679 and 19 deaths have been reported. The Met Department issues red alert for heavy rain. Strict guidelines during the festive season. Special traffic plan near the Parliament on Friday. News from overseas. A new study found babies born during the pandemic may have lower IQ scores. In sports, it's cricket. India beat Namibia by 9 wickets in another T20 World Cup match played yesterday. Local news in detail now. The budget proposals are designed based on the Vistas of Prosperity policy manifesto. The budget will focus on basic needs of the common masses and sustainable development of the country. Parliamentarian Professor Ranjit Premalal says the proposals will be devised based on the policy manifesto Vistas of Prosperity presented by the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa during presidential election. The budget will also pay attention on the people's needs. The Disaster Management Centre says sluice gates of 13 reservoirs have been opened due to the inclement weather condition. 86% of water has been filled in the Rajangane reservoir. Meanwhile, it's reported around 98% water capacity in many reservoirs, including Nuwara, Tisa, Abaya and Mahakanadarawa tank. The Disaster Management Centre says effective measures have been taken to provide dry rations and other basic facilities to the people affected due to the prevailing inclement weather condition. The Attanagalu Oya, Maha Oya and Kudaganga in the Kaluganga Basin have been alerted with minor floods, the Disaster Management Centre said. While issuing a report of an island-wide water level and rainfall situation in major rivers, the Dunamale station of the Attanagalu Oya, Badalgama station of the Maha Oya, and Kalawellava Millakanda station of the Kudaganga in the Kaluganga showed a rising of the water level. The Health Ministry says that another 167 persons have tested positive for the novel coronavirus yesterday, pushing the daily count of new cases to 679. This brings the tally of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country to 545,935, while 16,500 infected patients are currently being treated across the island. Meanwhile, 19 deaths have been reported yesterday. Showery condition is expected to enhance further in northwestern, western, Sabaragamuwa and northern provinces and in the Galle, Mathura, Kandy and Nuwara districts today due to influence of the prevailing wind convergence zone in the vicinity of the island. Issuing a red alert for heavy rain, the meteorology department said that very heavy showers above 150 millimeters can be expected at some places in the northwestern, western and Sabragamu provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the northern province and in Mathale, Gaul and Mathura districts during the next 24 hours, it said. General public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporarily localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank.
The Ministry of Health will introduce strict guidelines during the festive season next month, sources told Daily Mirror newspaper. Health Ministry sources said that the guidelines will be introduced targeting Christmas and New Year holidays. A number of events are already being planned during Christmas and New Year holidays. Festive events are expected to be held at shopping malls, hotels and other locations. However, with the public seen disregarding the current health guidelines, the health authorities are looking at introducing strict guidelines during the festive season after consulting the COVID task force. The guidelines would likely include restrictions on gatherings, preventing the holding of the usual New Year's Eve parties. Health Ministry sources said that a final decision will be taken following discussions with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Sri Lanka has recorded a slight increase in the number of people infected with the coronavirus in recent days. A special security plan would be in place in and around Parliament complex this Friday, the 12th, as the budget for 2022 is to be presented that day, the Speaker announced yesterday. Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abhiwardena said in a special traffic plan would also be in place by the traffic police and the nearby police stations. He said the Parliament gallery would only be opened for diplomats. The Speaker also said Parliament car park would be closed on Friday and requested the MPs to accompany a driver. And that ends local news for now.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank. Discounts up to 60% and interest-free installment plans from selected merchants.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The government says further 2,500 renovated roads will be vested with the public next month. Around 68,000 roads have been identified for renovation and development so far, out of which 14,000 roads have been fully renovated. These development activities are carried out under the Developing 100,000 Kilometre Roadways project. 1,500 renovated roads were vested with the public recently under the patronage of the President. Minister Johnston Fernando says the road development projects are carried out with the sole purpose of providing proper transport services to the rural community. And that was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
This is Watchlight.
The health authorities have requested the public to follow health guidelines strictly as the corona infections crossed the 600 mark the third day. Director General of the Health Services Dr. Asela Gunadana said that it is a high risk for the public to get involved in large gatherings or get-togethers. He requested the public to refrain from travelling between the provinces. He pointed out that 500 to 600 corona patients are still being reported daily from the country. Therefore, he emphasised that the pandemic can spread rapidly again if the public act irresponsibly. And that was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
In the headlines, Poland blocks hundreds of migrants at Belarus border. Niger classroom fire kills at least 25 school children. A new study found babies born during the pandemic may have lower IQ scores. World News in detail now. Poland says it has repelled attempts by migrants to enter the country at its eastern border with Belarus, warning that thousands more were on the way. Video footage shows hundreds of people near a barbed wire border fence, which some tried to force their way through. The Polish government called a crisis meeting on Monday and deployed 12,000 troops to the region. Poland has accused Belarus of pushing the migrants towards the border, describing it as hostile activity. Officials say at least 25 children aged 5 to 6 have died after their straw-hut classrooms caught fire in southern Niger. Several others were injured during the blaze, which broke out on Monday morning as children took part in school lessons in the country's Maradi region. The cause of the fire is not yet known. In Niger, overflow classrooms are often built using wood and straw when the main brick structures are unable to accommodate all school children. A new study found that babies born during the pandemic may have lower IQ scores than those born before it. According to this study, babies who came into the world before the coronavirus had a cognitive score hovering around 100. But the test scores of babies born during the pandemic fell sharply to around 22 points lower than what's considered normal. The study author Sean Dioni, Associate Professor of Pediatrics Research at Brown's University, said that during the pandemic, even though the parents are present at home, they are unable to their children because of remote work. Quote, if they cry or flirt or laugh, their parents may not respond as they had expected. That is so confusing to children. Unquote, he added. Back to the headlines of the world news. Poland blocks hundreds of migrants at Belarus border. Niger classroom fire kills at least 25 school children. A new study found babies born during the pandemic may have lower IQ scores. And that ends World News.
Development News.
Japan will allow re-entry to all returnees from 6 countries, including Sri Lanka, the Japan Times reported. The 6 countries, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka, have been covered by a near-total entry ban on foreign nationals, including those who have been vaccinated and those with a valid residence status in Japan. The entry ban was imposed earlier this year as part of Japan's quarantine measures on all foreign nationals who spent time in the 6 countries within 14 days prior to their intended arrival. And that was Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
India beat Namibia by 9 wickets in another T20 World Cup cricket match played yesterday. Batting first, Namibia made 132 for 8 in 20 overs. In reply, India reached the victory target, losing only 1 wicket with 4 overs to spare. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Pack Corrugated Cartons Limited has achieved a top-line revenue of 3.46 billion rupees during the first half of the financial year 2021-2022 ending September 3rd, 2021 against 2.065 billion during the same period in the previous year, recording a 59% increase year-on-year basis. The company turnover grew to 2.32 billion rupees against rupees 1.46 billion the previous year. In terms of manufacturing volumes, XPAC has achieved year-on-year growth of 17.4% during the first half, which is 7.7% above forecasts. The company's subsidiary Neptune Paper Private Limited also posted volume growth of 13% for the same period under review. And that was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
In economic news, a multi-party meeting on enhancing bilateral trade between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh was held at the Export Development Board (EDB) recently under the patronage of the Minister of Trade Dr. Bandula Gunawardena and High Commissioner of Bangladesh to Sri Lanka Tariq MD Ariful Islam, with the participation of companies that export products to Bangladesh. Representatives from several government institutions attended the meeting, and issues faced by the Sri Lankan exporters when exporting to Bangladesh were taken up for discussion with the Minister of Trade and the High Commissioner. About 30 companies representing tea, cosmetics and personal care products, textiles, electrical and electronic products, woven fabric and rubber products, including tires and chemical products, joined the meeting. And that was economic news.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
In the weather report, the Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Ua province and in the Ampara and Batiklo district during the afternoon or at night. This weather report was published this morning at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com reports that the day's weather will be bright with occasional showers. Today's daytime temperature would be around 27 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in Colombo district in the night. Tonight temperature will be around 24 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in selected spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 25 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index AQI is 15, which shows fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. And that was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
To end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The government says further 2,500 renovated roads will be vested with the public next month. The budget proposals designed based on the Vistas of Prosperity policy manifesto. Sluice gates of 13 reservoirs have been opened due to the inclement weather condition. Disaster Management Centre says Attanagalu Oya, Maha Oya and Kuda Ganga alerted with minor floods. The daily count of coronavirus cases climbs to 679 and 19 deaths have been reported. Met Department issues red alert for heavy rain. Strict guidelines during the festive season. Special traffic plan near the Parliament on Friday. News from overseas. A new study found babies born during the pandemic may have lower IQ scores. In sports, it's cricket. India beat Namibia by 9 wickets in another T20 World Cup match played yesterday. And with that, we end this news broadcast.